they're going to take best player available, and we're going to make a football player out of him. Where are you going to see best player available as a left tackle? You probably won't see that, right?
No.
So, given all that, is there a strong possibility that the best option is to bring back Braxton Jones? You enjoying your post Bears season vacation?
Definitely am. I'm getting back to myself. My beard has grown back. Actually shaved my beard right after the Bears season, and it's growing back pretty good. I actually had some beard extensions.
I didn't think you was gonna take it there. The real reason why we haven't done a Bears show in a couple of weeks is because you said you couldn't get on camera without a beard.
I wasn't getting on camera without my beard right around Black History Month, but I actually shaved it a week prior. So we're now 3 weeks post beard fiasco. I haven't been myself since the Bears lost in the playoffs, so couldn't face the NFC Championship the way I was, so I decided to shave my face.
Is that how you celebrate Black history? Black men should not shave their beard, especially during February. I think
That's how I cope.
I think
That's how I cope with the another Bears season without a Super Bowl. Um, Caleb Ben Johnson, please. I don't know. I might cut off a limb next year if you all don't go to the Super Bowl. So please stop me from any more rash decisions.
yeah, get off that Vrabel. Don't be like Vrabel.
What was he? What was Vrabel talking about? He was gonna eliminate his penis or something. He's gonna cut his penis off to win a Super Bowl.
He said to win a Super Bowl, he would chop his manhood. He split the Polish, go away from the Frankfurt and do Vienna from now on. Something like that.
Well, his offense played like they didn't have a Polish between their legs. I mean, Drake May well, he had a vagina there, so they got a good head start on that.
Speaking of Super Bowl, segue. How did you enjoy the Super Bowl? What kind of party did you have at the crib?
Uh, I just I had some nachos. I think that's good Super Bowl food. I stayed away from all of the politics. I did not watch the halftime show, as I don't watch any halftime show.
You didn't watch the K Rock concert?
Absolutely not. I did not watch the
Damn.
TP USA concert. I didn't watch the main concert on the main telecast.
Bad Bunny.
I do not watch Super Bowl halftime shows. I watched Lamar's last year only because I wanted to see if he was gonna spin around and stand over the body. I don't know. I have no interest in the halftime shows. I do like music, but I like my music in my ear pods, in my earbuds, or on my car stereo. I'm not a big I'm an in-person concert person, but I don't need to see it on TVs. It does not give me that same type of feeling. Super Bowl show,
Mm.
I go make something else to eat. I go grab a drink. I go to the bathroom. I just don't watch them. I've never had any interest in them, and I'm certainly not going to make a political stance because Puerto Ricans are doing music during the Super Bowl. That is the most ridiculous thing. I'm an old school guy. I watch football games for football games, and there's no disrespect to any of the Super Bowl performers. I just don't watch them.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, that was probably the only entertainment that came from out of that 4 or 5 hour block of
Definitely,
time.
I was bored by the end of the first quarter. The Super Bowl just flew by. It was watching me.
I wasn't bored that early. I think by the time halftime started to creep up, I'm like, you know what? I think this is going to be the game right here. I think this is going to be one of those heavyweight fights where the guys are they're not very light on their feet. They're just throwing little body blows here and there and then hugging the whole time. I think that's what the game is going to be. And it ended up being something like that, other than, one of them falling on their face a couple of times. Shout out to the Patriots.
Yeah, we've been spoiled by some pretty good Super Bowls, and the last two ones have been duds.
Which one was worse, this Super Bowl 60 or Super Bowl 59?
60. 59 was entertaining.
Because Pat got that belt.
Yeah, Pat got. I mean, seeing. I'm not an anti Pat Mahomes guy, but when you see after you've won 3 Super Bowls, you're automatically the villain. I like Tom Brady, but seeing him lose, that was more exciting than seeing him win, seeing somebody beat. It's not seeing him lose; it's seeing somebody beat him. Everybody likes the
Mm.
underdog. So seeing Pat lose, seeing the Eagles get it one, seeing Jalen Hurts win one, that was entertaining. And even though it was a blowout, you're still watching Pat Mahomes. You're still watching one of the all-time greats perform. So Drake May, he's the guy that's ascending. He's not an all-time great. He did not have an all-time great playoff run at all. So there was no real storyline to it. So it was boring to me. I was literally watching the game and then catching up on Breaking Bad. I finally started Breaking Bad during the Super
Time out.
Bowl.
Time out. I think that's strike three right there. I think you set tripped so much. The show is not 10 minutes in, and I think you already broke three rules. First, you cut your beard during Black History Month. We can't let that one slide. Uh, then you admitted that you ain't never watched Breaking Bad before, and you started it during the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't
Q.
start it during the Super Bowl. I was continuing it during the Super Bowl. I'm
Oh,
in season two.
okay, all right, all right. Season two is
So
when it really tee up in season two.
this is a good season. So I just seen Jesse's girlfriend OD on heroin,
Spoiler alert.
and Walter stood over the body and decided not to help after breaking in. This is a good one. I think I'm about to start
Spoiler
selling.
alert.
Edit that out, please. Edit that out. I don't want the feds to to get a hold of that. But I think I can cook it now. I've learned a lot.
Cash Patel gonna be on your ass in a minute, but yeah, let's talk after the show. I mean, I know some people in New Mexico. Maybe we need to figure some things out. But that's for later. That's for later. Speaking of the feds, did you see that the feds put a commercial out there designed as a Ring camera commercial?
No, I did not. I didn't watch the commercials either.
So Ring, they came out with a commercial said, "Hey, you know how when you lose your dog, you can never find them. How about scan this QR code and join our network in which everybody just we just tap into everybody's Ring camera and we can help find your dog. If that ain't the feds, I don't know what is. If you scan that QR code, you a moron. You a goofy.
You're not getting in my Ring camera.
Hell no.
No, thank you. Pretty soon, ICE
And
will be at your door, deporting you, and you were born here.
they may not come to your door, but they gonna catch the person you pay to cut your grass.
That's not funny. They actually did take the person that cut my grass. I'm serious. I haven't seen him since early this spring, and I know he's not from here. They got him.
Damn, another one.
Yeah.
Free. So I enjoyed the Bad Bunny commercial halftime show. I mean, I speak a little bit of Spanish. I didn't know nothing he was talking about, but the vibe was good. I don't care that I don't understand the music. I don't understand reggae, but I be dancing to that shit. I don't understand. I ain't understand living La Vida Loca, but that shit had all the white people on the dance floor back in '97.
So
I
did the
mean,
Macarena. Now all of a
Hey,
sudden we don't like Spanish stuff.
white people love the Macarena.
Don't want to get too political. Everything's over political now. I mean, can't even enjoy the Super Bowl. But damn it, if you don't want the Mexicans and the Latins here, don't eat none of their food. You know what? Mexicans, pack your tasty, tasty delectables up and take it south of the border. They don't want you here. They can't have any more tacos. They can't have any more guacamole. Don't eat any of it. Just eat your burgers and your casserole if that's what you want.
That was a controversial take, man. I like burritos. No diddy. You don't.
I mean, that's just for the people that don't want them here.
I've traveled the world. Everywhere I go, they be white folk. They go come find it, but they just don't want you here. They gonna come find it though.
They want to enjoy some of your culture. They just
Right.
don't want. They just don't want the actual people. Okay.
Exactly. Shout out to Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. They want to like enjoying. They ain't like enjoying the
Yeah,
culture. They just don't want you equal to them. That's been part of this country since the beginning. But yeah, not a politics podcast. And not a racism podcast either. But that is the world we live in.
if you're a conservative, a liberal, you're a black, you're a white, a supremacist, a racist, you can still watch our show. We are all inclusive, no matter what your political beliefs are, No matter what your supremacist beliefs are, come watch the show.
Our takes are all inclusive.
Come
Right.
watch us. Don't edit this out. You always edit stuff out. I watch the show. Some of my more explosive opinions don't make it on camera. And I don't know how to feel about that. Tired of getting censored and edited. You know what? I'm gonna take
I
I'm
do
gonna
that.
take I'm gonna take my podcast views to True Social. Cause Trumpy will let me say what I want to say on there. I could offend whoever I want to offend there. I can make a monkey out of you if I want to. You, you can be
The Super Bowl came and went, and the season is finally over for everyone, which brings us to a familiar place for Bears fans. Unlike most recent years, the Bears did not have a head start on the offseason. And unlike most recent years, we were not looking for a coach or coaches at this point, not waiting to the end of the Super Bowl so we can interview coaches.
which is surprising. I definitely thought our coaching staff would be a lot more purged
Hmm.
than it was. I mean, we lost Bieniemy, but
Yeah.
I don't think we expected Bieniemy to be here long as a running backs coach. And let's be honest, he was overqualified for this job.
Definitely so. I mean, you can do a lot worse than Eric Bieniemy as your running backs coach. It
Hopefully, we
was
don't.
I mean, he probably didn't get enough praise why he was the running backs coach for one season. Because the running game was very electric for the 2025 version of the Chicago Bears. Third in Finished third in the league as far as rushing yards per game. Good luck to Eric Bieniemy as the new offensive coordinator for or new and returning offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. I hope they have a resurgence in their offense, but I do not hope they win any Super Bowls. I hope they have a real good shot and put Eric Bieniemy where he should be in the head coaching chair for some team in
Take over for
2027. Another spot we did have to fill in the coaching staff was offensive coordinator. Declan Doyle went over to the Baltimore Ravens as their new offensive coordinator, and the Bears ended up promoting the passing game coordinator to take over Declan Doyle's job. What do you know about Press Taylor?
I know he was the Jaguars offensive coordinator
Mhm.
when Travis Etienne had back-to-back 1,000-yard years, and that's where some of the speculation comes for Travis Etienne being dealt to the Bears. Press Taylor he's a veteran. He's been coaching for a long time, but as far as his role with the Bears, I think we know Ben Johnson is going to be calling plays. So Press Taylor will be more in charge of the week preparation things. Declan Doyle did. So it's not a major change here as it has been before when we've had guys who were defensive minded coaches like Matt Eberflus and Lovey Smith, where the offensive coordinator had a lot more impact. He's just going to be here with maybe weekly game install assisting Ben Johnson. So not too big of a deal. Not something that is going to be very organizational shift in terms of offensive philosophy. Unlike passing when we hired Shane Waldron or what was the other guy? Luke Getsy. These guys were bringing in their own offenses. These guys were unproven. We didn't know how they were going to use their players. We have offensive continuity coming back with Ben Johnson.
Jabronis. That's what they were.
Definitely jabronis. But I think that some time has passed. We realized the jabroni of the jabronis was definitely Eberflus. I think we blamed, and we got to apologize to Luke Getsy because apparently a lot of the stuff that Justin Fields was complaining about wasn't about Luke Getsy. We assumed that he had tension with Luke Getsy, and it was really Eberflus.
What was the tension with Luke Getsy? I haven't heard that.
So remember when Justin Fields said after the Tampa Bay game, he feels like they're he's
Yeah,
playing
overcoaching him.
too robotic and being coached that way. Everybody thought it was Luke Getsy, but apparently him and
Mhm.
Luke Getsy had a pretty good relationship. Luke Getsy tried to bring Justin Fields
Yeah,
along
I
with
remember
him
that.
when yeah.
Went to
So
Vegas.
yeah, we see now that Justin Fields' comments were directed at Eberflus because we see Caleb Williams didn't like Eberflus either. Is Luke Getsy a victim of Eberflus too?
I mean, you might see a commercial in your near future from a law firm saying if you was ever done wrong by Eberflus, call this number. There might be a class action lawsuit against Eberflus. Other things going on with the offseason, assistant general manager to Ryan Post, Ian Cunningham He was rumored to get a GM job for years. He finally got one. He's going down there, join Ryan Pace and in Atlanta to join the rest of the ex Bears, Ryan Pace and the rest of them. And then Ryan Pace got fired.
Get fired on your off day. It's nothing even going on. How did you get fired? We haven't even got to free agency or the draft. Damn, Ryan.
He should have saw it coming. He was the VP of football ops, and then they hired Matt Ryan to do something. Then they hired Ian to be the general manager. And next thing you know, hey, Ray Ryan,
And them damn Falcons. By the way, we got a lot to talk about with the end thing because we are
yeah.
entitled to 2 third-round picks, but they fudged with the title and they skirted. The league got to do something about that.
Speak on it because that's exactly where we need to talk about this. Because when I heard that Ian finally got a job, like, okay, good job for him. Now you can add this in to the Black Monday NFL not hiring any black head coaches this cycle. Then Ian getting a general manager position, but the Bears don't get any Rooney Rule award for it. Now I'm not saying and me as a black man, I'm not saying there should be a reward for anyone for hiring a black man or black woman in a position of power. That there should not be a reward. The reward should be you gaining the expertise of the individual. Now, with that said, there is supposed to be, some draft compensation for the Bears, putting him in a position to be HNIC somewhere. Unfortunately, Atlanta, home of Dr. Martin Luther King and others, don't want to give him HNIC in title. How pissed off are you about this, Q?
Pretty pissed off because the thing is, when you hire somebody away from somebody's staff or front office, the thing is, it's supposed to be a promotion. So the Bears could have easily blocked the interview with the Falcons if Ian wasn't getting a promotion and title. Ian could have still been here and still being here. That would allow some other team to hire him as the general manager in title and still get us our third round picks. I mean, this is almost, well, professionally, it's a lateral move. The Bears could have blocked it because teams, thing is, you let your coordinators, you let your staff go, you let your assistant general manager go and interview another team in hopes that he's getting an upgrade, a promotion. Other than that, you block it. You don't allow a guy like Al Harris to go be a secondary coach for another team, especially the rival. If he's going to go to the Packers, which he didn't, I don't know how that didn't happen. He has to go as a defensive coordinator. Otherwise, you block the interview. I think maybe, I don't know if the Bears dropped the ball or if the Falcons pulled the rug from under the Bears' feet, but this should have been blocked.
I don't want to blame the Bears. I'm gonna just blame Atlanta for lying.
Atlanta is a tricky city, though. We're all inclusive. We're not criticizing anything. We just want transparency and honesty.
I do think the problem is a little further than what the Bears knew and could have done, and what the Atlanta Falcons did after the fact. Because Atlanta doesn't gain or lose anything from hiring Ian. They gain a capable person in their front office, and they can use a capable person in their front office. So they have no reason to, at least to me, they have no reason to suppress his job title. Whether they want to inflate Matt Ryan's job title, I mean, whatever. But whatever. But in
Let
my
Matt Ryan
opinion,
have that job title. What is he?
I, I'm about to tell you why. I'm about to tell you why. I think the problem lies with the NFL as a whole. The NFL as a whole has a race problem. They have a racial problem. You don't need the Rooney Rule if people just stop being racist. You don't need to incentivize teams to hire black, brown, or men and women if people just stop being racist.
The
Mhm.
Eagles before he's with the Bears. He was with the Ravens. So we're talking about a guy who's been an area scout with the Ravens. He's been director of college scouting. He's been assistant director of player personnel, assistant GM, and now he's under Matt Ryan.
Mhm. Why would you be underwhelmed?
Why, why would he be under Matt Ryan is perplexing when Matt Ryan has done nothing in anybody's front office.
He's a Falcon legend. You
28-3.
know what? But yeah, I know. But
But I
that
guess
goes
you're
right
right.
back to what I was
He is
saying.
a Falcon legend because I'm trying to think of all the Hall of Famers the Falcons have running
Ray
around.
Buchanan.
Is Ray Buchanan a Hall of Famer?
No, but he's a Falcon legend. Shout out to Ray McGannon from from the South Side.
Can the Falcons claim Deion Sanders?
No, they can. They can. They drafted him, right? They can do that.
So how does it work with claiming a Hall of Fame player? Does it go by who he was drafted by, who he experienced his most team success with, who he was playing for the longest, or who he played for at his peak, at his best?
I mean, as long if he was a good player, a great player for you, you can claim
He
him.
was a great player for the Falcons, and he was
Yeah,
drafted by the Falcons
you can claim him. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, why would they claim Dion?
and the Redskins. Yeah, I saw somebody try to
Mhm.
say Deion Sanders was a ex Redskin, or they had him as a Raven or a Redskin, and I'm like, no, no, you can't do that because he didn't play his best football there. So
No,
so
he's
Dion
not.
played 4 years for the Falcons, 89 to 93, and he played the same amount of time for the Cowboys, 95 to 99.
But the only thing that separates Dion's time in Atlanta and Dion's time in Dallas was the rings because Dion's best play came in Atlanta.
He was still at the top of his game, but he went to, I don't know. I think maybe the best Dion I saw was that 94 Dion with the Niners, and it was only 1 year.
His peak, you're right. You're right. His peak was in Dallas, but his decline happened in Dallas too. The
You're right
last 2
about
years
that
in
because
he won
99
he won
Dion was not.
yeah.
You're right. All four, even rookie Dion was better than 99 and 98 Dion. You're right. I think he did some great things in Dallas in terms of, you remember, that was the time where he was a two-way player, where
Mhm.
he started the wide, but with Atlanta, I don't know if you remember, he was an electric returner, like not just punt
Yeah.
returner, like he was a kick returner, punt returner. I mean, he was before Devin Hester came along, Deion
He
Sanders
was the GOAT.
arguably was, yeah, he was arguably a GOAT returner, and he did that GOAT returning in Atlanta. So yeah, I guess Atlanta could claim him. I just kind of remember him as a Cowboy because the playoff runs, Super Bowl run was in Dallas.
Mhm.
But I guess you got a point. The 99 Dion was definitely not prime Dion. The 98 Dion was not prime peak Dion. You really only gave the Cowboys 2, 3 years of that peak.
The last Super Bowl run, '96, that was it. That's when that was the end of peak Dion, and that was the end of prime Dion at the same time. So,
You're right.
I
You're
mean
right. 89 to 96 was the, well, yeah, 89, that was the best Dion we saw. After that, that was the shell of him.
mhm. So yeah, NFL get your shit together. Bears need their picks. You giving everybody else picks. Bears need to run the Bears that shit. Other than that, the Bears are used to doing another thing lately in the offseason that we're probably not going to be doing too much longer. And that's talk about stadium shit. We've been it's been I don't even know I don't want to call it a merry-go-round. I don't want to call it what do you call it? A seesaw or I don't even know what other type of uh, uh, backyard toys you can I guess compare it to. But this back and forth with Indiana, Arlington Heights, Chicago, it might be coming to an end now because
All time.
after even though I ain't got no horse in this race, at least not financially, but I'm about tired of talking about it. McCaskey, Kevin Warren, they brought in the big guns. They had Roger Goodell in town, going out there to Indiana to look at sites and going into Arlington Heights to look at sites, like that. And then they told him like, "Hey, look, we got an offer from Indiana, and you got till end of February to give us something, or we're going across the border." They drew a line in the sand, and that's how you negotiate. Late as of right now, recording this on the 10th of February. All reports are saying there's been progress with JB and the McCaskies. Scale of 1 to 5, Q. Are you happy that the Bears are trending towards staying in Illinois? Maybe not in Chicago, but Illinois.
Um, I prefer them stay in Illinois. Definitely. It's just something about crossing the state line road to go watch a Bears game that doesn't know. No, even though technically Greater Northwest Indiana, I guess that's considered Chicagoland area. Hammond, do you consider Hammond Chicagoland area? Let's start that. Let's start there. Is Gary and
Okay.
Hammond Chicagoland area?
Okay. So the way my mind works, I read things literally. Technically, yes. Gary, Hammond, wherever the hell Notre Dame is, all that shit Northwest Indiana, that is considered the metro Chicagoland for the sake of like the metro area, like where ABC 7, the radio stations, all of that stuff is considered in their scope. So I guess in football terms, if a team wanted to move into Northwest Indiana, they would have to pay the Bears to come into their market. So in that sense, yes. But to me, do I consider anything on the other side of that line? Do I consider the second you get on the Skyway and you cross that first toll, do I consider anything on the other side of that toll Chicago? No.
What's that toll, like $20 now?
Man, fuck my life getting on that toll
We all done went, we all done got cut off and went the
from
wrong way
Stony
on
Island.
Stony at least one time and regretted our lives soon as we got to that first toll.
Hey, you go over there by that Walgreens on 75th and Stony, you get in that middle lane like, fuck, I gotta get on the other side. And you try to take the light. You try to beat Shorty off the red and take the light, but they on that same shit with you,
Yep.
and they beat you, and you got stuck in that middle lane. You gotta get on the Skyway, boy. You be punching air. You're like, man. Not only am I about to be 20 minutes out of the way, I'm about to be $20 light in my pocket too. Boy, you be heated. Any case, yeah, I don't consider it. I don't consider it Indiana. Not at all. Not at all. Even though it's a lot of Chicagoans over there and Gary and Hammond and all that. So
We know why we go over to Hammond though.
yeah, yeah, we don't.
We get tired of the cost of living here.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we can't
everybody
hack
that
it.
I all the Chicagoans I know that go to Hammond come back once they get their money right.
Mhm.
That's not, if you leave Chicago, you leave and you go to Houston, Atlanta, somewhere in Arizona or LA.
Minneapolis.
That's where you go to live. Hammond is just, man, these bills is whooping my ass. Let me go live in this bungalow real quick, this rundown bungalow that they're charging me $300 for, and drink this rusty tap water, and then I'm gonna get my shit together and come back to Chicago. That's what you do. You don't go to Indiana and just live there and die. That's not where you go retire. That's where you just go for 1 or 2 years, get your guns, because they don't do Fort.
We didn't want the Bears to be like that. We didn't want the Bears to be like, all right, man, we gotta get our money up. Let's go to Indiana for a second. And because that's exactly how it was gonna be. Indiana, they gave them so much to come over there. But I guess the fine print of that is like, yeah, we'll give you all this, but you're gonna be renting this, you're gonna be renting this stadium. Right. So if you want to go back home, that's cool. You don't own this shit. Like you would be owning the stadium in Arlington Heights where you spent $200 million on that. You
Might
ain't
as
gonna be
well
able to
go.
right. So I'm gonna read what's been in the news today. After a long stalemate, there's been quote unquote progress between the Bears and Illinois lawmakers. Governor J.B. Pritzker acknowledged the ongoing conversations, and sources indicate that lawmakers are now amenable to two key Bears requests: state aid for infrastructure, not the stadium itself, but like, plumbing,
Yeah,
ingress, egress, stuff like that, which is important, which is important.
very important. It's one of those small details that matters that the public wouldn't know. That is an expensive and costly detail that I can
Mhm.
understand why a team would want to negotiate.
Exactly. The other thing being property tax certainty. That's the big thing. What they're saying is it'll be a pilot legislation allowing negotiated tax rates rather than a standard assessments. If that's the case, Chicagoans should be happy. Go up there and do that shit with Arlington Heights because the Bears about to make off like some bandits on that deal. Here's the advantage though for Arlington Heights. The consensus is that the Bears will likely build there because they, like I said, they already own that $200 million hole in the ground and would own the stadium. That allows them to control the revenue from parking and all the non-Bears events. And unlike the rent-to-own situation that Indiana was trying to offer. It works in the Bears' favor long term, even though Indiana was going to fit the bill. They was going, you know, was going to be a simp and pay all the bills without even getting a chance to hit. In the long term, the Bears get to own they, you know, make their own money and do their own. They could be a top rate, an A class organization like some of the other people, the Dallas Cowboys of the world, the Chargers, the Rams, all that extra money that they getting from they deals and you know they situations. The Bears want to get into that too. The Bears got the Cubs right there in their own neck of the woods. They see how the Cubs are making out. The Cubs are doing numbers after the Ricketts bought the Cubs in 2009, I think it was, and then took over that whole neighborhood, knocked down everything, the old McDonald's and all that, knocked it all down, built that hotel. The rooms are like $400 a night all throughout the year.
Damn.
They making bread over there. It's a really nice hotel though. I ain't gonna shit on it. I ain't gonna cap.
Have you been in
Zachary,
there?
I have. It's a really nice hotel. I ain't gonna front you, but they making money over there. And that's exactly the type of money the Bears want to get into. So I ain't mad at them. I'm sad that they leaving Chicago. But I'm happy they ain't leaving for Indiana. That would have been that's no deal.
But
Can't
you
do
know
that.
what? If you're a person that goes to the games, this will probably be a lot more friendly travel experience and parking
Mhm,
experience. That Lake Shore, getting into any event from concert to a game,
mhm.
that is that is hell. Getting out of Soldier Field is hell. I mean, the Arlington Heights layout should be much easier. You're going down 294. I think the Metro goes right to the game or something like that.
Yeah, the Metro stop is less than a mile away. So, I think it's even less than a half a mile away. So, it's not
You,
so it's
you
a
can get on the
really good
Metro and
thing.
walk.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
mean
people
I
still
mean,
walk.
to be fair, you can do the same thing at Soldier Field. You can get off
Yeah,
the Metro
yeah,
and walk.
you can.
The
But
last game I went to the Bears game against the Saints this year, and I got on the red line. I mean, I ain't I'm a real Chicagoan. I get on the red line. I don't care. I get on the red line. When I hear the argument like, man, the traffic be messed up, like, okay, but Chicago's a big city. You have public transportation. You chose to drive. You could have got on the red line. You could have got on the 12. You could have got on the Metro.
the
You could
last
have even
time the last time I was on a red line, there was somebody having a vehement argument with themselves.
it's $2.50. You gotta take what you can get. Somebody gonna be arguing with themselves. Somebody gonna be smoking next to you. Somebody might be pissing outside the car.
Somebody
It's
and then
2 hours.
another time somebody was masturbating, a homeless person. Do you know what homeless masturbation smells like? You know what that smells like? You're a bold, brave man. I am too old for the red line. Too old for the red line. I don't ever have to get on that red line again. We're not even talking about the danger that is from standing on that platform. Somebody want to, hey, check it out. What's more dangerous? 69th or 79th or 87th?
69, way more, way about, way more dangerous than any of them. 79, I've seen some shit happen on 79, but I ain't gonna front it. But 79 got too much traffic for shit to be going out. 69th Street,
69th is where there's a lot of gangbanging happening on 69th.
life is perfect for action. It's enough people, but not too much that you can't get active. 63rd, there don't be a lot of people on 63rd Street. 71st, but 69th and that 71st, you gotta keep your head on the swivel over there.
The green light on third is where it goes down. Yeah,
Yeah. Which one?
King.
Well, I ain't been over there in a minute. So they redid it. They redid it some years ago. It's well lit. Put it like that. It's a lot of lights over there now. So back when I was
Sometimes some
coming
of them
up,
guys do not care about lights.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
They
But
they
when I
are
was
they are on go. They standing there and they waiting.
when I was a shorty, that stop on 630 King on the Green Line, yeah, it was a no fly zone. You ain't lying though. But it's been a minute for me to be over there. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, going to the game had never been that big of a deal. I can get there. I get off right there, Halsted. They got a line of buses waiting to take you right over there, jump right on, boom, 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 boom. No issue for me. But yes, it is an issue for majority of the people that want to go to the game and tailgate. Lakeshore Drive is not a spot for a stadium. It's not a spot for somewhere where you're going to have a host events where it's going to attract 50,000 people on any given day. We talked about it. The ingress and egress is not going to cut it over there, and that's a very important thing for any stadium. The in and outs of that shit. You can do the museums. The museums are not doing 50,000 people on any
People,
given day. You can do Black Yacht Week. It's not going to see 50,000 people at any given time like that. For a stadium, for what the Bears got, what the Bears want to do, it ain't gonna do. And I understand that. I'm fine. You can put the Sox over there. Sox
you
might
can
not
put
see
the Sox in
50,000.
SeatGeek. What SeatGeek hold 20,000? And they still not gonna fill it up.
You can put the Stocks at Gately. Put them on 103rd Street. That's the amount of stands
I mean,
they
you
need.
being funny, but I'm looking at the Sox attendance. What's the last time you been to a Sox game?
It's been some years.
I remember buying seats
Longer
for
than
the
that.
300 level and easily walking down to the 100 level and sitting damn near behind the behind the catcher,
Mm,
and nobody came to move me. And there was still plenty of seats at the lower level. The I think they announced maybe they might announce there was 11,000 people there. I don't think there was that many people there.
no.
You can't hide at a Sox game.
Well, unless you're a pistol, because then you can hide.
The Sox are probably bringing in 7,000 people unless they play the Cubs or Yankees
That's
in the
probably
Dodgers.
fat. Yeah, and the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are definitely gonna bring their fans with them. So to finish up the thing on the stadium, a deal has not been done yet, but there is serious momentum pushing the Bears towards Arlington Heights and finally doing the thing that they've been waiting to do for about a year now, and that's put shovels in the ground. And we love that for them. So we can finally focus on the task at hand. And Kevin Warren can actually be paid for what he was brought here to do. Get us a stadium. Get us a high class stadium so we can one day have the Bears in the Super Bowl in their own backyard. Segue back to the Super Bowl. Now we talked about the commercials, we talked about the halftime show, but I want to talk about the game. Most importantly, did you notice what has won the last two Super Bowls?
Defenses and particularly the front four.
I'm gonna go a little deeper. Trenches. The trenches have
Offensive
won
and
the last.
okay, offensive and defensive
Yeah.
line. Okay.
Mhm. See, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs in the trenches. They owned Joe Tooney and the rest of the offensive line. Javon Carter and the rest of them was in Patrick Mahomes' grill the whole night. And this was in this Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60. Not that the Seattle Seahawks defensive line was as dominant. I mean, they got a lot of pressure on Drake May, and they sacked him 6 times. And it was, and I won't say that they sent only 4 too much. They was sending a lot of blitzes too. But I will say this. The highlight wasn't the defensive line. What I'm gonna highlight is the offensive line, and I think that's gonna be the center of this episode because we can talk a lot. There's a lot of things the Bears got to do in this offseason. But right now, let's start with the trenches. We talk about the trenches this episode. We talk about wide receiver and so on and so forth in a future episode, primarily because I want to stretch out some content. But for this episode, I think the last two Super Bowls were one of the trenches, and this one was the offensive trenches. Is how the Patriots lost that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You remember when we was doing draft prep?
Will Campbell. Yes.
Will Campbell, our old boy, we was talking about, damn man, would he just can he get caught with a bag and slip to what was it, number 9 for the
10.
Bears? 10. I think we were better off with Ozzie. Will Campbell had 29 pressures given up in this playoff run in 4 playoff games, 29 pressures. He had, I think, 18 of the 19 in the Super Bowl. I forget how many sacks he gave up, but do you know how bad you gotta be as an offensive lineman to be able for layman's for someone just watching the game as a spectator, not someone watching film or watching the game on a second and third time to point out how bad you are as an offensive lineman, how bad of a game you're having. That's how bad of a game Will Campbell had. It was clear and obvious that he was getting his ass beat over there. And not just him. I want to be fair. His counterpart to the left of him, the left guard, was getting beat up on too. But Will Campbell, we're gonna highlight him for this particular point. Not only did the Bears, I guess, luck up in that, but the Bears also need to pay attention to that key point right there because there is some trench work the Bears got to do. Not only do the Bears got to replace Ozzie and whomever else at the left tackle, but they need to get better in their defensive trenches as well. And because there is no Super Bowl run you can expect to have without being secure in your trench warfare. Just like how they won World War One, you got to win this. And if the Bears want to be serious in their run to the Super Bowl and while their window is open now, they got to do that. Q and Q. Give me a name that you're looking at right now to help the Bears improve their trenches.
One guy in particular who has been mocked to the Bears. If you watch Big Ten football, Aiden McDonald
Mm.
of Ohio State, he is exactly what the Bears need in the middle of their defensive line. I don't anticipate a really strong edge rusher being available at 25. TJ Parker has been a name that's been bouncing about that could be late in the first round or the second round. TJ 6'3", doesn't really have long arms. He's not your prototypical edge, and I don't foresee him fitting much into the Dennis Allen defense. And to be honest, Caden McDonald, he's not the tall, long defensive tackle, but he is a beast in the middle. He is a true zero technique. Got enough quickness to maybe slide over to the three or in between the guard and tackle on the other side. He's a guy that demands double teams, and he's extremely nimble for a guy his size. He's upwards of 330 pounds, but he is a load in the middle. And I think he's exactly the type of guy that you need in the NFC North to make it hard on these talented running backs in this division. We see Jameer Gibbs twice a year. We see Josh Jacobs twice a year. The Packers and Lions have success running against us. I would love to see a Caden McDonald. The Bears were, as you pointed out, a lot earlier than last year. We were on a historic run in terms of, for the wrong reason, in terms of rush defense. So I would love to see a Caden McDonald. In free agency, I'm probably going to butcher his name. Odafi Owe. First rounder for the Ravens a couple years ago. I think he just had another 10-sack season. He's 26 years old. He's 6'5", 250. Actually, he had 7.5 sacks last year. He played on two different teams. But he's a guy that had 10 sacks in 2024. He still got a lot of upside. This is another target, Jalen Phillips, a guy that the Eagles traded for. He's a free agent. So I think these are the guys that you want to see in the trenches. Jalen Phillips and Odefi Owa, they can get after the pass rush. They can get after the quarterback. They're guys they haven't had those dominant seasons yet. But Jalen Phillips and Odefi, they're guys that got high upside. They're guys that you could see making another leap and becoming a 12, 13 sack guy. Caden McDonald is the dominant interior guy you want to see. As far as left tackle, that's a tough one. Left tackles don't make it to free agency. They're like quarterbacks. When teams got a good one, they don't let them get out their rookie contract. They extend them. Push come to shove, if they can't sign them, they trade them. So the tackle market, that's going to be tricky. Cam Robinson, he's a veteran. He'll be available, but there's a reason why Cam Robinson is available. He's a guy that was a high draft pick, but hasn't played that great of football the last couple of years. So as far as the left tackle situation, that's really unfortunate. I don't know what the Bears are going to do going forward. I don't know if you move Joe Tooney to the left side, to left tackle, and then you try to fill find a guard in free agency or the draft because finding a guard is easier to find a tackle. Or if you see if Theo Benedict could fill those shoes. See if the what is he called? The Iron Eagle? The drop it low, get your eagle on. All I know is that man was in his United States underwear, trying not to get deported back to Canada. And I don't even know what's going to happen to it. Have you heard about the tariff war with Canada? We might
Yeah,
have to send Theo back. He might get too expensive to stay around here.
I'm sick of Trump and it messing with my football. Theo might not be the person we have to talk about.
They're trying to develop another football league, by the way, a more American league, because the Super Bowl.
What? Hold on. There's when you say they, you're not talking about Canada. You're not talking about another Canadian league. You're talking about
No,
another. You're talking about another. You're talking about Trump trying to do another
I
USFL.
won't say Trump. He already made his attempt at football.
He failed.
Some of the MAGA pundits are saying maybe they need to have a football league to rival the NFL, not just the halftime show. They need to have a football league that reflects American values.
Don't they know football is already? You know what? All right. I don't think they understand the NFL is MAGA enough. It's closer to MAGA than you think.
Well, somebody was speaking Spanish in a halftime show, so now it's not.
Anyway, back to Theo Benedict. I'm gonna stick with the offensive part to what you said. Because Ozzie Trapilo tore his patella tendon, and I don't expect him to play at all in 2026.
Not at all.
I don't expect to see him.
Jeez.
Not at all. Because if he does come back, it would probably be December. And at that point, hey kid, come back in 2027. So based on where the Bears are in their cap situation, they're already 10 million over. And based on some other decisions you got to make, you got Darnell Wright on the right side of that line, speaking about trenches. He is already coming out of his third year, so you got to now make a decision on his fifth year option, or extend
You
him or
know the
whatever.
decision. You better extend them.
Oh yeah, you ain't got no choice now after you had that all pro season.
How does he have an all pro year and didn't get elected to the Pro Bowl?
It's a weird. The NFL's weird thing. I don't get it. I think they need to make the same voters for the Pro Bowl also the same voters for the All Pro. But you know what? Maybe that's not even the case. Maybe that's not even a smart thing to do. I just saw that Iowa is trying to make a play to get the Bears too, but
Iowa?
whatever. Yeah,
Hell
Iowa.
no. I'd rather be in Indiana.
I mean, I got more GDs over there than Indiana do. So I
You
mean,
sure? Indiana probably got the real GDs though.
well,
Iowa.
yeah, the ones that Terre Haute.
What is that? The Super Max?
Yeah, that's Super Max. But so based on where the Bears are with their financial capabilities this offseason, you might have no choice but to bring back your boy, Braxton Jones.
Please don't say that.
What
There's
other
always a
choices
choice.
are there? You already said left tackles don't get the market. You already said where the Bears are drafting, you probably won't see a left tackle, because I think the Bears are if just based on how they drafted last season, they're going to take best player available and we're going to make a football player out of him. Where are you going to see best player available as a left tackle? You probably won't see that, right?
No.
So, given all that, is there situation? I mean, is there a possibility or is there a strong possibility that the best option is to bring back Braxton Jones on a 1 year
I didn't want to
type of
say that
deal?
earlier. I said Cam Robinson. I don't know if Cam Robinson is a better player than Braxton Jones. He has a better
I think he
resume.
is.
I don't know if he's a better player.
Maybe not in this system, but I think he's a better player.
Okay, give me Cam Robinson or whatever's left
Hmm.
of him. Give me Cam.
Devil's
Advocate.
yeah. Braxton Jones did win, I guess, however we want to define win. He did win the job coming out of training camp over Ozzie, over Theo Benedict, over Kyron Amagaji. Is he still on the team?
There's our left tackle.
No, he's lower than Braxton.
You get lower than Braxton.
Did he suit up at all this season?
I think he suited up and got hurt again, or they said he was hurt. I don't know what they did with him. I don't know if he's been hurt for 2 years. I don't know what's he doing.
You know what? I know what he's doing. He's being a nerd. He's not playing football. That's that he's Listen, you can all your anger at Braxton needs to go to Kyron. Kyron, you're our new Braxton. Go over there and don't come back. Braxton, welcome back to the squad. I think that's how you plug this hole going into the 2026 season. Braxton Jones is the lesser of all the other evils. It's not a new guy we're trying to figure out, trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. He's not Theo Benedict. I think he might be better than Theo Benedict. At least this. I'll give you this, Q, and I think you would agree with this. A healthy Braxton Jones is not terrible.
I agree with that.
A healthy Braxton Jones, you don't have to change your whole offensive scheme for him. You don't have to do what you had to do for Theo Benedict.
But how tired of we seeing him be susceptible to bull rushes?
Like Will Campbell?
Yeah. Well, Will has tiny arms. Will might end up being a guard, as some people said. He might end up being a
Mm.
guard when it's all said and done. He might end up being a right tackle.
Vrabel said no. Vrabel said defiantly. He said two things. I'm not cutting off my dick, and Will Campbell staying at left tackle.
I think we're starting to see
Well, I'm
why
not being
Vrabel
wrong. Like,
eventually made his way out of Tennessee. Too damn stubborn.
yeah, cut your dick off. Quit playing around. Stop being stubborn. Braxton Jones might be the lesser of two evils, but how about this? This might be another one. And this is definitely not the lesser of two evils. Cap relief. I'm gonna give you three names, and I'm gonna let you tell me which one would you least like to, I guess, trade or move on from to have the, I guess, financial flexibility to bring in a better left tackle than what you have in Braxton Jones. Cole Kmet, Tremaine Edmonds, DeAndre Swift.
Tremaine Edmonds, because I think he is the highest paid, and I think DeAndre Swift, if the Bears got rid of him, it would only be a 1.3 cap hit. They save $7 million in cap space. I don't want to thin out the running back room too much because I think Roshan is gone. A Cole Kmet, even though right now with Colston Loveland emerging, I think Cole Kmet, I don't want to say he becomes redundant because Cole Kmet showed me some really good things in tape in the run game. And I think he's also reliable. And I don't want to mess with that offense too much. And he's a really reliable guy in case Colston Loveland goes down. And I love the Bears being in 12 personnel. I think we really saw the running game shine when you had Colston and Cole Kmet out there at the same time. So I don't want to get rid of Cole Kmet. And unless the Bears are able to get Devon A Chain for the cheap, I don't want to move DeAndre Swift. Got to be Tremaine because I feel like we can offset his loss. I think that guy, DeMarco Jackson, played well when he was given a chance. I don't think you lose a lot when Tremaine goes down. I think Tremaine is too susceptible and doesn't make enough impact in the run game. I just think he's more replaceable than the other two guys. You can find his replacement either on the roster or in the draft.
Which one of those players would you absolutely not want to get rid of? And let's say, segue, Max Crosby was on the table. Because
Although
Crosby did reportedly say he would never play for the Raiders again. So if Crosby was interested in coming to the Bears, out of those three players, Cole Kmet, Tremaine Edmonds, DeAndre Swift, which one would you absolutely not be willing to part?
they can all go for Max.
Mm.
They can all go for Max. The guy I would least like to part with that is a toss up between Swift and Komet. Swift brings you the explosiveness, but I think he's the best player of the three. But I think finding a running back is almost the easier thing to do. I think I don't want to sound too cliche when I say Cole Komet is like a glue guy, a leader, a guy who helps the offensive chemistry. But I think Komet is kind of a guy like I think he helped mentor Colston Loveland. I think he's an integral guy in terms of being almost like an additional lineman sometimes when he's blocking. And I think he's still a good safety blanket for Caleb Williams. I think the guy I would least want to move is Cole Kmet. Even though I think Swift is a more dynamic offensive player, I think you can find a replacement for. I mean, we've seen we've seen running backs get drafted third, fourth, fifth round and come in and play right away. And I don't think you can find a tight end. Tight end is one of those positions that's hard to learn as well. You got to learn blocking assignments. That's why we've seen, it'd be hard for tight ends to come in and make an impact year one. So I think find another tight end in the draft or finding Kyle Pitts is a free agent. Anybody want some Kyle Pitts in 12 personnel?
I don't know how good Cal Pitts is at blocking. So no.
Well, I would say Cole.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw this out there. Tremaine Edmonds, cutting him would save the Bears about $15 million. And then
Get him
you
out of
already
there.
brought it up. DeMarco Jackson did play well in his stead. DeAndre Swift, after a career year, cutting him would save the Bears about $7.5 million that you already brought up. I agree with you. Running backs are a dime a dozen. We just got one in the 7th round that is pretty good, pretty decent enough, right? If you can do that in the 7th round, why can't you do that in the 4th round? And why can't you do that in the 2nd round? Get somebody even better. You keep kicking that can down the road. Speaking of kicking cans down the road, Cole Kmet, cutting him $8.4 million. You already got Colson Loveland. There's no reason why you can't retool the offense to go less 12 and just be more 11. But then that is a risk because now you do have a soft spot in your line with the left tackle situation. So you do want to have some chip ability, and I guess just to help out when necessary. Possibility of restructuring. You have guys like DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett, Dayo Abedeno, whose contracts are maybe too big to just cut. You're going to have to either trade them or restructure them. But as you know, restructuring, that's just kicking the can down the road. Tax is going to eventually come home to have to pay. So I'm going to ask this question one more time to you. I'm going to restructure the question. Of the other guys that I just named, Dio, Grady, DJ, Montez Sweat, for somebody like Max Crosby, if he's available, capital I, if he becomes available and the Raiders are listening, what draft picks, in addition to those 4 players, would you be willing to trade off for Max Crosby?
Dio. I don't even know if he's going to be in a rotation next year.
So that means how many so if you're trading Dio, somebody who's kicked off the team, and so to speak, as you said, how many draft picks would that require? You're giving Dio away to offset some of the salary. So how many draft picks? That sounds like 3 draft picks.
Max is definitely commanding 3 picks. I don't know if Max will command 2 firsts. I think that might be a little steep for him. You're definitely giving up a first for Max. You're probably giving up a third, and you're giving up an additional pick for Max. Yeah.
Would you do that?
I'm sorry?
Would you do that? If you're Ryan Poles, a first, a third, and Dio Abedembo, who he just went out there and got and paid all that money because he believed in him. You're doing that.
I'd have to do that. The benefit of that trade would be getting Dio off the books. Not just getting Max. It would be getting Dio off of your books. Because this looks like wasted money.
How good is Max Crosby against the run?
Average.
Like Dio?
But at least Max can get to the quarterback.
Mm.
I think with Max, some of the issues with him against the run is when you see with a lot of elite edge rushers, well, not a lot, not all of them, but you see with some elite edge rushers, teams can use their aggressiveness against them. So you can get Max to get up the field and break containment. I mean, Dio wasn't giving you, he was billed as a guy that could stop the run when he got here from Indy. He wasn't doing that well for the Bears. That's part of the reason why the Bears were so bad against the run early in the season. That's when Dio was getting a lot of snaps. And then Iowa wasn't getting any pressure against the quarterback either. At least we know Max has done one thing consistent through his career, and that's get to the quarterback. And we know one thing of the last couple Super Bowls, guys like Pat Mahomes and Drake May were pretty much neutralized by pass rushes. So I don't worry too much about Max Crosby and his ability against the run. So I think when he wants to lock in, he's above average against the run. I'll take what Max gives me as an elite pass rusher and I'll live with what he does against the run.
Okay. I'm with that plan. Next episode, we'll talk about the defense and what the Bears need to do to fix the defense. Because a part of the trenches was the Bears' inability to stop the run, and they had a lot of issues stopping teams from passing the ball with success as well. So we'll do that on our next episode. Q, as always, bear down.
Bear down.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.